大家好，我的名字是。I want to thank you very much for coming today. We really appreciate you being here. The Chinese American community is a very important part of the 3rd Congressional District. And that's why I'm so lucky that I have the support of Weiwa today to be here with me, and his wife Carrie, who's in the back over there, and Christine Liu, who's the newly elected history-making town councilwoman from the town of North Hempstead, who's also Chinese American, but she has a cold. She couldn't come here today. I feel bad for her. And most importantly, I want to thank Grace Meng, who's been my partner in government for a long time and has been awesome in helping me in my campaign to reach out to the Chinese American community and other voters throughout my district. And this is a very important special election. So does everybody know the background here? That George Santos was in Congress. He was a terrible disgrace. He got kicked out of Congress. There's a special election on February 13th, and I am the Democratic nominee for that election. And my opponent in this race, we don't really know much about her. She's not doing debates. She's not going to do anything like this with interviews like this. She's not reaching out to the Chinese American community. And she has a very short record in politics and in government. My background is that I'm trained as a lawyer and a certified public accountant. I was the mayor of the city of Glen Cove for 8 years. I was the county executive of Nassau County for 8 years. And I was in Congress for 6 years. And I didn't seek re-election in 2022 because I ran for governor of New York. But I lost that race. And now I'm running again with the support of the people in my party. Now, the Democrats have not been as popular as we would like them to be amongst the Chinese Americans. And I'm working along with Grace and Weiwa and Christine and others to fix that, because we're emphasizing things that we think are important to the Chinese American community. What is the Chinese American community concerned about that I am interested in working on? Public safety. It's a very big issue for Chinese Americans who live both in the Queens part of my district as well as in parts of the Nassau County part of the district. They're very concerned about the immigration crisis. They see, as are everybody, not just Chinese Americans, but everybody's concerned about the immigration crisis. And I've proposed a bipartisan solution. I actually wrote an op-ed piece with Peter King years ago. He's a Republican, I'm a Democrat. And I recently sent a letter to the president and to the Speaker of the House and to the Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, saying we have to make a bipartisan compromise on the immigration crisis. The Chinese Americans, as well as everybody in the district, are very concerned about the cost of living, how expensive everything is. And one of the most important things that I worked on in Congress and will work on again is the state and local tax deduction, to reduce people's federal taxes by being able to reduce their tax burden by deducting their property taxes and their state and city income taxes. So there are many other issues that I can talk about here today, but I don't want to talk too much. I want to answer your questions. And I want to ask Grace and Weiwa if they would like to add anything. But the bottom line is that the Chinese Americans in my district are approximately 40,000 people. And I don't think that they've received enough attention in the past. And I am focused very, very directly on the Chinese Americans. My father was born in Italy, came to the United States as a young boy, was the first one in the neighborhood to go to college. And then he fought in World War II as a navigator on a B-24 and got what's called the Distinguished Flying Cross. And then he came back and went to Harvard Law School on the GI Bill. But the Italians were very discriminated against in the 1940s and 50s and 60s because the Italians teamed up with the Germans during World War II against America. And between that and the mafia, nobody trusted the Italians. So my father had a fight to be respected in America. And he started a law firm in our hometown of Glen Cove. And then he ended up running for city court judge and became the youngest judge in the history of New York State at 28 years old. And my father was a great American success story. And my success is all due to his and my mother's success that they had. My mother was Irish and English. My grandfather on my mother's side was a union electrician, put the lights on the Empire State Building. But I see my family story in the Chinese American family story. I see the exact same thing. That people that came to America for a better life, who worked very hard, who relied on education, who relied on family, and they loved their native country. They loved the traditions and the food and the culture, but they have adopted the United States of America because of the great opportunity here, because of equality, because of capitalism, and because of democracy. And so I see my story and my family story in your story. And I need to communicate that. And that's why I'm so grateful to all of you for coming here today, because I need to help spread the word to the people who read your papers and watch your shows. So I'm going to ask that Grace, 请投我一票。
All right.
各位朋友，大家好！今天非常荣幸能够跟大家聚在一起，尤其是我在3点钟要坐火车去华盛顿，所以非常高兴能够跟大家见个面。非常感谢大家今天愿意跟伟华和我跟 Tom 一起有这个meeting。首先想介绍一下 Tom 的竞选团队Tom 的 campaign manager John Gonen。
Yep, this is John Go. John speaks Chinese also. You should record him.
Yeah.
John.
你好，大家好，我很高兴你们都在这里帮我们讲，谢谢。
然后也介绍一下 Julie 和 Walter 是 Tom 的竞选团队，你们都认识 Walter。今天来就是其实正式宣布我要支持给 Tom Suozzi 背书。那大家都在问为什么要支持 Tom？ 大家也知道这次的这个第3选区这个位置空出来了，在去年共和党 George Santos 选上我们第3选区的国会议员。之前我是跟 Tom 是同事，他就是在我隔壁的，从 Bayside 和长岛是我们隔壁的邻居国会议员。那为什么要支持他？我觉得 Tom 是一个非常勇敢、非常独立的一个候选人，他是一个很独立的民主党。刚刚 Tom 提到，就是说，有时候我们华人社区对民主党有一部分不十分满意。Tom 就是说，如果有哪一方面不管是对民主党或是共和党任何政策他不同意，觉得不真正的代表他的选区和居民，他都会讲出来。他很勇敢，他不会怕。他就是会讲出来，比如说前年跟我们的州长，自己的民主党州长对选，他有不满意的地方、不同意的地方，他都讲出来。那不管是在这个特殊高中，或者是公安，或者是其他方面，他刚刚也提到我觉得他是比较会代表我们华人的声音。他的对手Suozzi。其实他本身也是一个民主党，Suozzi 不是共和党 ，Suozzi 是民主党。那现在很多人都觉得国会就是比较中文不知道怎么讲，比较 extreme， 就是最极端。共和党和民主党都有很极端的一部分。Carrie 是我的中文老师。比如说，现在共和党在一些州，Florida 还有 Texas， 他们有推出新的提案和法案，就是不准华人，如果不是还没拿到美国公民，不准华人买地产、买房子。这个就是等于像之前的排华法案一样，排斥我们华人。所以这个在国会对我来说非常重要。 因为这个会直接影响到我们的华人社区、我们的亲戚、我们的朋友、我们的邻居。在这几年，共和党大家也知道，我不是说一天到晚在讲共和党跟民主党什么是对我们社区好，我就会支持。可是这方面，共和党推出这种排斥的这种立法，我们不能接受，所以我们不知道如果 Suozzi 进去国会，他会不会支持同样的这种提案，让我非常紧张。Tom 之前我没有要求他支持我们这个反亚裔仇恨法案，或者是我们的亚裔博物馆他都是有支持，都是帮我们在国会通过这些法案，所以就是今天要来特别跟大家见个面，正式宣布我给 Tom 背书，然后希望我们华人社区能够就是出来投票，在这次全美国、全纽约、全世界都可以说在注意到这个选举，2月13号刚好是我们过中国新年的时候，这个选区的亚裔选票其实比犹太选票都多，大家都在讲犹太人会决定这个选举，可是这个应该也要加一句，就是说我们华人可以决定这个选举，所以我们就是呼吁华人社区2月13号当天或者是之前，一定要显出我们的力量出来投 Tom Suozzi 一票，谢谢。
谢谢。谢谢。Now what Grace just said was. Okay. Where what?
Thanks Tom. 那我就简单讲两句。那我叫严伟华，那我住的大井长岛大井。那我去年呢也竞选了就是纳苏郡的议会的议员。那很巧呢，我的对手就是 Suozzi， 也就是他被任命为这次就是那个 Tom Suozzi 的竞争对手，所以我对他比较了解，而且呢他也是我的邻居。我们的孩子也还一起踢球，所以我比较了解他，也知道他这2年做了什么工作。那么，作为他，当然他就像刚刚 Suozzi 说了，他也就只有2年的就是政治的那个生涯。那在这2年中间的话呢，他大部分时间都在家里。据他的同事跟我讲呢，他几乎在会议上基本不发言，也基本上从来没有就是独立起草过任何法案。那如果他在就是说一个纳苏郡的议会这么工作的话，那如果他去康果来，你可想而知他的作为会怎么样。那作为我们第3选区的话呢，我们有很多工作要做。我们有那 tax 那个 SALT， 就像刚刚那个 Suozzi 说的，我们有这个 state 和 local tax 那个 deduction， 2025年要到期，我们希望能够有比较坚强的那个支持者，能够帮助我们把这个 SALT 这个法案就是去掉，因为知道我们那个第3选区。大部分的就是中产阶级损失很多的那个，就是那个收入。那另外一点呢，就是说我们那个 Suozzi 他有6年在康果工作的经验，在之前的话呢，他也当过那个纳苏郡的郡长和那个镇长，所以他有很丰富的经验。我们需要这样的人呢，在那个康果是为我们的居民，特别是我们的华人发声。那刚才 Grace 也讲到说，现在就是说很多那个就是佛罗里达州Texas 州有很多这种就类似排华法案的那种法案会被提出来。那我们希望我们有很坚强的这个支持者，能够为我们亚裔华人发声的。那我希望呢，就是说 Suozzi 要远远强于他的对手 Suozzi。这也是我们希望，就是说我们华人这次的话呢，一定要多出来投票。那在我的选举过程中呢，我们华人有将近40%的华人选民呢出来投票，支持很多当然是支持我的。那我也希望就是我们这次华人的话呢，刚才Grace也提到说，华人和亚裔其实是一个很大的一个力量，那但是呢，我们需要就是说用自己的选票来发声，这样的话呢，我们才能够就是说有自己的话语权。那我希望就是说我们华人能积极投票，2月13号，希望能够让Suozzi 能够竞选成功。谢谢大家。
谢谢。So when I was in, you want to translate for me for one second? When I was in Congress,
他在国会的时候
I was the vice chairman
他是副主席
of the Problem Solvers Caucus.
解决问题的委员会
25 Democrats and 25 Republicans.
25个民主党议员，25个共和党议员。
And we would meet together to try and find common ground solutions.
常常开会就是找同意的地方。
I think that all voters
所有的选民
in my district and in America
在他的选区，在全美国
are sick of the politics of people just fighting with each other.
不喜欢两党一直在争，
They want people to work together
他们要我们一起合作，
to actually solve the problems that they face in their lives.
解决美国居民的问题。
If I win this race,
如果他赢这个选举，
I'll be in a unique position
他比较特殊的立场，
to carry that message of bipartisanship,
可以一直说两党合作，
of trying to work together
一起合作解决问题，
to address the real problems
来解决真正的问题。
that people face.
美国，在美国的问题。
Okay. 谢谢my UN translator. Hey, James, how are you?